welcome. My name is Ebenhaezer Dibakwane, and against popular belief, I'm still broke. It's true. I want to pay because you know. It's not a choice. Let's try it. I come not right. $5. Okay. Design, but it's my design. Not true. So if you get things, I came with a taxi, guys. I came in by a taxi, and I don't mind I don't mind counting change or other things about the taxi. My problem about the taxi, you know those perverted grannies. That's my problem with the taxi. Those grannies who act like they're trying to pass, but they're perverted. You know those grannies who are like, sorry, Mtana, sorry, Mtana. Me and Coco have been together for 2 years now.
I cannot believe that we are this deep into podcasting. Can we now call ourselves podcasters?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
When is the right time to call yourself a podcaster? Is it as soon as you make a podcast?
Yeah.
As soon as you've been doing a podcast for like more than 10 episodes? I'd say like after the 50th episode.
So then we're not even halfway to podcasting.
Exactly.
So we're just people behind microphones who happen to be related to each other with a 17-year age gap. And that's why our podcast is called I beg your pardon. That's why our program is called A Brother and a Sister.
Yeah. There we go. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Khabani.
It's a podcast, right? We're deep in it. My name is Babi Muloy. How's it going?
Yeah, and I'm Khabani Muloy. I'm the brother that is the sister. And today has been this whole week has been a bit of a weird one.
It's been tough for you.
Yeah. For those that don't know, we all recently lost an amazing talent in the industry, the comedy industry and acting industry, all the arts industries.
Yeah.
The amazing Ebenhaezer Dibakwane. I viewed him like a brother, like a big brother. He was amazing. Always wild and crazy and just amazing. I opened for him a couple times at some of his one-mans. And we had like a couple of shows that we were supposed to do together. We had like big plans. So I'm kind of like not in the best mood.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get through it. May his soul rest in peace.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said to you, I did the number one worst thing to do when someone gives you news about one of their best friends.
Mm-hmm.
I burst into tears.
Yeah.
And then you had to look after me.
You know that also happened when my dad died. Because
who burst into tears?
Mom.
Oh.
Because she got the news before me.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But Patrick Mandla Yende.
Sorry. Why the whole day?
At the age of 50, like,
yes.
she did the
you
whole.
will be fondly remembered by.
And I was just like, is this what
Did
is?
she tell you driving home from school?
No, she fetched me from my friend's house. Like, because I was at a sleepover at my homie's house, and I was I was just pissed off that she fetched me early.
Yeah, of course,
I'm trying to like have a good time at the homie's house, and then she came early. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
She tried that with me as well. She was like, I was like, I don't feel the same.
That ain't my daddy.
Yeah, that's
how you felt. Yeah.
So apart from that, I have been extremely concerned about you and your mental health this whole week.
Yeah.
Extremely like I check in, how you doing, how you feeling today, have you eaten, did you talk to someone? Because I also don't want you to just keep things inside.
I'm definitely not okay.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be good. And like I've never been really good at processing death. Because it's the one thing I can't really fathom correctly, where the idea of death is the only time the actual idea of forever kicks in. Like a lot of people are like, I never want to see you for the rest of my life, or even marriage, you'll say like, I love you forever. But like at any stage, you can break up with the person, you can get divorced or whatever, and then you guys can also get back together. But until that person is actually like passed away, there's still a possibility that you can see them. There's still a possibility that things can change. Like
Yes.
the idea of forever only hits me when it's like I'll never see my dad again.
Yeah.
I'll never see Eb again, and that's like a
You've said
whoa.
to me, like, sometimes you look at someone's phone number and you're like, I can phone this number as many times, but they won't
They
they won't pick up.
Yeah, that is always such a trip. That is always such a trip.
It's very hard. And you're very young. So
I don't know.
I know you've experienced it,
Mhm.
right? With people very close to you, friends, and as you say, your dad, family. But it is the weirdest thing. And as you get older, you kind of experience it in your circle or people who you admire, on pop music or hip hop music or whatever. And it's for me, it never stops being difficult. It's always a trip.
And you mean it never stops being difficult when the person passes, or like you'll always, that person, like doesn't matter how long ago it was, you'll still feel something?
I mean, I think time does heal to a degree. It gives you some space. But Grandpa died the year before you were born.
Yeah.
And every now and then I'll find myself crying about Grandpa.
Uh-huh.
That he's not here, or he can't see this, or he can't see that. So it sounds like I'm trying to bring you down, but I'm not. I'm trying to prepare you that don't expect grief to be linear. And also don't say, after 3 months, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, like one day something will pop up and you'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And all the feelings will come back again. So give yourself grace. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
That's really deep what you just said. The idea of grief cannot be linear.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the time people almost want to dictate how you must feel in the moment.
Yeah.
Like obviously I'm in that stand-up community, right? So the way how a lot of these comics have to process things, they have to go on stage, they gotta tell jokes, they gotta do
Okay.
this, they gotta do that. And also I think that's another crazy concept of the idea of the show must go on.
Yeah.
So when I get to shows and people wanna like, I'll never forget you, bro, like and stuff, and then sometimes I get angry, because
Angry.
yeah, I get angry because then I'm like, this feels performative. Every time I go to a memorial or a funeral and stuff, and then I hear people talk about other people, and it's like, yo, dog, like, remember that time when we wada, and I'm like, in my head, there's moments I'm like, I don't think they liked you, bro. Like, this person didn't actually fuck with you, and also this is not just talking about Eb. There's other people in my life that's passed away, and I've dealt with funerals where I've seen people that I remember the deceased telling me live jive, I do not like this person. And then now they're at the memorial, the funeral, whatever, saying like, yo, we had the best of times, the worst of time. I'm like, more worst,
Yeah.
if you like,
Who are you talking about?
like, and it's things like that. That's very like, there's a performative thing about it, but then I'm also like, that person's also grieving.
So maybe that's their process.
That's their process of trying to process what's going on, and I can't shit on them for that.
Yeah.
We all have our things. Like I'm not good at talking at people's, that's actually a lie. I've had some fire speeches, but like I don't think it's healthy to expect people to process their grief the same way you process it.
Yeah.
Some people are already like accepting things, before they've even gone through depression
Yeah.
and sadness and
Denial.
denial. You know, some people might go through denial as the last thing. They're gonna bargain 10 years later. So yeah, that's wild to me.
I think one of the most mature moments where I've really recognized that you are an adult man is when your friend's mom passed away. And you know, you always talk about how close you are to some of your friends from the primary, and then you've got like a good group of boys that you're still friends with from high school, and now in the comedy world as well, right? And you told us that you got up and you spoke about her so beautifully. You spoke about her like the mom that she was, because I know she was extremely maternal to you, and they just loved you from like grade naught.
Yeah.
And I looked at you and your friend having come back in your little black suits with your shoe. I was
I'm
just like,
6'2".
I
It's not a little
know,
thing.
I
It's
know.
a
But
gr-
remember, I was there the day you were born. And I was like, yeah, this is stuff you can't shelter them from. Like, you are growing up. This is gonna be part of adulting.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, it's such a trip.
Yeah.
I think the wild line, it's very interesting sometimes when you see mom when she hears someone that she liked or someone from her day. And like sometimes I see her process things very like
Sorry.
niggas die.
I knew you were going to give us two options.
I think
She's gotta go through that
she
first.
does that, but she does that more when it's close to us. You know what I'm saying?
I hear her do that even if it's a cartoon character in a TV show.
They got my nigga Bugs, man.
Ooh, right? And then shame, I always feel so sorry for mom when she watches this because we go in. And then the other thing is exactly that. She'll think about it, tell 2 or 3 stories, and then she'll be like, it bees that way sometimes.
Ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing. And I know from more recent experiences that I've had in my life. I mean, when one of my best friends in 2011, like, when you meet someone and they become like your soul friend.
Yes.
I imagine that's part of what it was like with you and Eb. Like, you were boys. It's almost like from another planet. You have known each other. All of your lives, you've known each other. And somehow you just love each other. And then you just go through the motions of life. Like, life is just something that's happening, but you guys know you are in my heart and I'm in your heart. And the first time I had one of the people in my life who passed on like that, I couldn't sleep with the lights off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I couldn't sleep without a podcast or music playing. Like, that thing broke my head.
Yeah.
It broke my head. And the way she went as well, I think also destroyed my ability to trust in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so I just say this to you, that what you're feeling is normal. Like, whatever you feel is normal. Even if some days you want to just like put on the music you listened to and just be like, woo, yeah, woohoo, yeah, because of that vibe and because of missing each other. It's that whole thing of grief is not linear.
Speaking about music,
Yes.
something that I did notice is it's weird. There's not enough songs that are dedicated towards losing a friend. Like I viewed him like a big brother, but like just as a friend alone, like there's a lot of songs like when I say farewell or like type like playlists about like losing
Like
somebody.
when you go into Spotify.
Yeah, it's about losing your mom, losing your dad, or breaking up.
Yeah.
Most of it was just about breaking up, and it was like not vindictive, but like triumphant type breakup. Like I'll never see you again, and now I'm better than you because of the two. Like
Yeah.
like, and
Did you
then
think I wouldn't find out about that? Well, I
and
did.
it's all that vibe.
Yeah.
and then
I was looking because we talked about this.
yeah.
And I looked for songs about loss and grief, coping with grief, loved one passing away, songs for grieving and losing. So people are making playlists.
Mm.
It's just genre specific.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Wu-Tang songs about
Yeah.
losing your best friend.
Yeah.
Even
Even though they lost a lot of their best, like it was left, right, and center at a point.
yeah, nah, I'm gonna need an old dirty bastard tribute, or something.
No,
Oh, baby,
yeah.
I like it raw. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Too Good at Goodbyes, that's Sam Smith. Like, what do you want to feel? Do you want to just sit down and cry? See You Again, Wiz Khalifa.
do you know which song I was actually listening to that kind of got me today? It was Kendrick Lamar, Sing About Me.
Okay.
Where in the song he's singing from the perspective of a bunch of people that he's lost in recent years, and they're all like he's rapping almost in a sense where they're angry at him. So he's
Yeah.
but he has like a level of survivor's guilt, and he's just talking about like how each of them passed away, and each of them in their verses the way they passed away.
Okay.
So the one dude, you can hear like bullets get shot or whatever because obviously gang stuff. The one girl starts fading out because she had
Was ill.
she had an illness. So then and literally in the verse she's like, I'll never fade away. I'll never fade away. And then at the end of the song, you hear her fade, and it's just like that dude, Kendrick. Like I just think there's not enough songs like that where you can really look at the thing, and it's like, because it also does help you process, like,
of course,
because then you realize like I'm out just complaining about performativeness or whatever when someone passes away, and this man made songs from the perspective of the deceased.
Yes. In
And
a way to heal his own grief.
However you want to put it, you can also look at it from the perspective of that's very performative. Like you're using your friends' passing.
I see. Okay.
You're using your friends' passing to like as a monetary gain. And it's like there's so many ways you can look at that, but it's like when you look at it that way, then it makes it a bit more easier. Going back to what I was talking about earlier, when I'm hearing these people go on the memorial and talking on behalf, me and Abe were like this, and I'm like, nah, yo.
Yeah.
Like you can, it's easier to like be like, you know what, this is how everyone heals, and let me not shit on how people heal, because it works differently for everybody.
I'm so naive. I was like, yes, this is how Kendrick Lamar is healing, pouring out his feelings onto paper to give to a record label to press records and make money and sales. I really thought it was like, yeah, this is his healing process. But you're 100% right. You cannot judge how people heal, and all we can do is try and look after each other and have boundaries.
Yeah.
When my friend Cootie Roberts passed away,
Mm-hmm.
I was working for quite possibly the most heartless organization in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe even the world. they were really terrible to work for. And the thing is, you'll never know who I'm talking about because I always work for several people at the same time. But Mo, yeah.
That was a cheeky situation.
Yeah, and I found out while we were live on television that she had passed. And I went crazy. I exploded. I was in tears. I couldn't keep it together. This is a person who I spent 4 years sitting right next to every day, kikiing, laughing. I was pregnant, so they know my you know what I mean? Like, it was like a sister friend. And their expectation was, actually the one woman said to me, yeah, but you know, all of Mandela's kids have to hear about Mandela all the time. So must we stop talking about Mandela because it's sad for her all the time? And I was like, first of all, you must translate your attitude and your accent. Secondly, that's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
This is a space where, at the very least, I'd hope to be taken care of or at least protected from a lot of the stunts that you guys are playing around this person who is in my life who's passed away. And then another organization I work for wanted me to be a part of a panel discussion. This is like 3 days after she died. A panel discussion about her life.
Yeah, see,
I didn't even answer those text messages.
see, it's such a weird, gross thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, somebody passed away,
Yeah.
and you guys are doing everything in your power to like make this about how can we look like we care.
Sure.
I think that's the thing that always gets to me, where I'm like,
Yeah.
why? Like, dude, if you don't care, it's fine. And if you do care, that's also fine. But you don't need to. You don't need to prove your grief. You know what I mean? Like, I don't cry when people pass away, and it's not because I don't want to. I actually wish I could. I struggle to cry generally. I get headaches trying to cry, and it's like I always feel weird when people are like the tears are coming out next to me and I'm not crying, because I'm like, does that mean I didn't care about my people? Does that? And it's like, no, that's not what it means at all. It's just we all process this thing differently. So for now because you're a big corporation, now you feel like you have to put the person's face up there and be like, see, we care so much. It's like that's the most.
But I'm also putting you on game because you're going to be asked to do things like that.
Yeah.
From now on, especially now because we're doing this podcast and we know how much you love Eb, people are going to ask you, so how did you feel? And what did it do? And what are the details? You know, what was he like behind the scenes? People are going to try to put you in that situation. And you've just got to make some decisions about how you want to do it.
You know, it made me realize that also.
Yeah.
Because the other night I went out to stand up and just to like see the room. I didn't even perform. And then people were like coming and being like, yo, did you hear? This one didn't post. This one didn't post about it. I'm like, post? What do you mean? And he's like, yeah, because I thought this one was closer to this one. So I was expecting him to have posted by now. And I'm like, are you saying like social media, like this person must be like, hey, dog, may see you, RIP. Like I must post a video of us hanging out.
Wow.
And I think that's also a big disconnect for people where it's like, you know, like Instagram is not a form of like, it's nowhere in the stages of grief. My brother.
Right.
Like you don't need to post a WhatsApp story to prove you care about your mom.
Right.
You know, like I think that's also just a thing where we're so used to that culture of having to show how much you have to validate your care about something by putting it on the internet.
Yeah.
It's
you
like
have to externalize your feelings.
yeah. And it's like it's such a weird thing where like I don't need you to post that it's my birthday for me to know that you care about me. You know what I mean? But then the rest of the world is like, huh, Bobby didn't post that it's Khabani's birthday. I guess she doesn't care. And it's like, that's not how the world works. That's not how life is. Like, Instagram is not a real place. You know, like social media is not the real world. Like you can be an angel with your highlights on your reels and stuff. And then in the real world, you're a dickhead, you know? So I get very concerned about how much like social media has consumed us to the point where like it's a part of the process of how you feel. You know, that's a weird thing. Another thing is also savior mentality.
Okay.
I was like, people talk about other people like, hey man, I wish I was closer to him because I could have just, I could have, we could have spoken it out and could have done this. And if we chopped it up at this point, then I'm like, bro, like, stop making hypotheticals
Mm,
about people,
mm.
like, also that's not healthy because I've also been there. Like, I'm not also trying to judge. I'm trying to
You
just,
felt that way.
I felt that way. Like my friend, uh, a couple years back,
Yeah.
she took her life.
Mm,
And the day before she took her life, she gave me a phone call. And I was actually opening for Eb on
mm.
that same time. So I hit her up. I was like, yo, I'll call you right back. And then I performed. I called her right back. She didn't answer. And then for years, I was like, damn,
Mm.
if only I called her in time. If only I could have, should have, would have. And it's like, but that's unfair, firstly, to yourself.
Of course.
Because then it's like, you're forever going to torment yourself. And now someone else's life is in your hand.
Yeah.
But then it's also unfair to them because you're summing up their torment and their torture and being like, you could have solved everything in one phone call.
Yeah.
Like, you guys could have had your phone call and then 5 minutes later, the catalyst of the thing that like really
Yeah.
put that person down could have still happened. And it's like, now what? You're just going to have the conversation of like, damn, if only I said this to them in the phone
Yeah.
call or that instead. Like, you'll always be that where it's like, I think that's a very dangerous thing for you and just the narrative around the person as well.
So how do you feel about going for a debrief?
What do you
Like
mean?
a trauma debrief. So I know everyone goes therapy, but there's different types of therapy, right?
Mhm.
So you can have a grief debrief where you go and you sit with someone and you just talk about your grief and what you're feeling, where you are.
Mhm.
A trauma debrief, because this is a trauma in your life. Sitting with a psychologist or sitting with a counselor and offloading these emotions with somebody who is a professional who will also be able to guide you and hold your hand through the process.
I think that's important. It sounds important. I've never done it before, so I actually don't know.
Because
You
my question was how would you feel about that
how would
for yourself?
how would I feel about it? I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try.
Okay.
Like, I'm not against it. I'm definitely not against it. I think do everything that you can to make sure that you're good.
Okay.
So I'm definitely not against it. And like, also, I think we're all so sure about how we've been processing things that some people are so comfortable in the pain that they're experiencing, they don't realize that you could actually feel a lot better.
You can feel better.
When you've been feeling sick for such a long time that like, it's that thing. Have you ever had like your nose blocked for a week and then you don't realize that your nose is blocked anymore because you've just been like used to that thing, and then one day you just take a
Yeah.
big breath and then you're like, oh my days, I've been suffering and I didn't even realize it. So yeah, for sure, like what did you call it, a grief
Debrief
a debrief for grief.
or a counseling session.
Okay.
Whichever word you use,
Mm-hmm.
it's just about having someone to look at you like this. And I might be too close because I just want to hug you and give you food and make sure you're fine, But someone who'll actually be able to listen to those feelings and know how to hold your hand through it.
I definitely think like everyone should, like, if you have even a moment of doubt that you're okay,
Yeah.
definitely go seek help.
I agree,
Like,
100%.
I don't know what the thingy hotline is there, but I think we should put it up.
I think we should find a few resources and we'll put them up at the end of our podcast.
Yeah.
So that literally what Khabane said, the minute you feel like
I'm not okay,
or why did I react like that? Or why do I feel so down? Or even why do I suddenly seem so crazy energetic that I think that I'm Jesus? all of those things can be signs of something bigger, and you don't have to suffer. You
Mhm.
don't have to suffer.
Mhm.
And as a person who's always talked about my mental health, you don't have to suffer. I just know that I know that I know you don't have to suffer.
Mhm.
I was reading something today about, the power of even just taking a walk or running or lifting weights. And you know that I believe in that a lot. I also believe in medication. I also believe in going to therapy. I believe in it all. So please take what Raban is saying very seriously. You don't have to suffer.
Mm.
All right. As a tribute to Eb, do you want to tell me about this?
Oh. I wasn't actually expecting to talk about it, but for I forgot when I made it, but like Eb and I used to hang out at times, and then there was a day. It's actually been such a random day. He was like the most giving person ever, because we were just supposed to link up, because he needed to buy himself a suit for some like function event thing that was coming up. So then I said, "Yo, let's hang out," and then he's like, "Let me go buy the suit with you." So we went to go buy the suit, and just before I made this artwork, and I didn't realize that I was making an artwork thinking about him in mind, because you know how I draw.
Yeah.
I just start drawing.
Yeah.
So I made that for him, and then this is actually the copy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's because I liked it a lot, but then I was like, let me make a copy just for myself so I can still look at it. But
Yeah.
I gave him the original, and then
Did he love it?
yeah, he was so like ecstatic about
Yeah.
it, so I was happy for that. And then yeah, we literally we hung out, we chilled the whole day. We went to Oriental Plaza, and then he found the suit that he was looking for. He was
Mhm.
very happy, and then I was just admiring one of the suits as well. And then he's like, "Get that one as well." And then I was like, "No, no, 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 chill, bro, chill, 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 chill. You don't have to." And he bought me a suit. He was just like, "Dog, I insist. If we don't get you the suit, I will be very
We're
upset."
not friends anymore.
Yeah, I'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the first time,
What?
the first time Abe would remember, because we met twice,
Okay.
but I know he wouldn't remember the first time. The first time that me and Abe both remember us meeting, he came to fuck me up.
Why?
Cause
Were you looking at this girl?
no,
Wait, no.
it was so Em and I also really admire each other because of our art style in terms of how we do comedy.
Yes.
And a lot of people were comparing us. So, but the way in which they were comparing us wasn't like, they were saying, "Yo, this dude's stealing your shit. This dude is stealing your shit." And like, obviously, the first thing you're gonna think is he's stealing my material.
Okay.
So he thought like I'm taking his gags or something. So
Yeah.
he came and like on some Roddy Mula Mula vibe where I don't know if you know the
I
story. It's
do.
like Shambok ready type ish. And he was like, "Yo," he actually didn't confront me.
Yeah.
Like, cause I was already, and at that time Abe had quit comedy for a bit.
Okay.
So he literally just came out. He always says he came out to just see me.
Oh,
to-
really?
Yeah, just to like be like, is this kid really taking my shit? What's going on? And I performed, I did my thing, and then he literally went up to those other guys and he was like, "Bro, don't ever say this kid is stealing my shit. Like he's his own thing, he's his own, like he's his own type of magic."
Yeah.
And like he getting that
Oh,
validation
Ev.
from him was like so dope, because it's like our styles are just similar. The way how we can rev up 1 second and be like, "Ah," and then the next second it's like, wow. And like just get really introspective, like he was very comfortable in silence. He didn't need people to validate what he's doing.
On stage. So he
like,
could carry a silent moment and
Yeah.
make it poignant.
yes.
And in that moment, give the opportunity to the audience
Mm,
to think and analyze what he just said.
mhm.
Yeah.
Even a gag, like you could make a gag that wasn't even that funny.
Yeah.
Like several times as funny, because there's times that uh, he'll start crying. He'll literally, to make the gag just extra funny, he'll just, and I'm like, "Bro, fuck you and your actor bag, bro. I'm out to telling people I can't even cry." at like in serious situations, and this man can make like the most whatever cheesy joke.
Yeah.
Ugh, man, I'm gonna miss him so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely miss him.
One of the most talented guys and a big sweetheart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, if if you guys have the opportunity to be kind to somebody,
Mm.
always, 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 just be kind.
Mm.
I know it's tough being kind, especially when you're going through your own shit, the rigmarole of life, of having to deal with your shitty boss, your asshole work colleague, or whatever. But if you have the opportunity to be kind,
Mm.
always pick that option, because long term it'll do so much more for not only you but just for society in general. Like, you don't know what people are going through. So just be kind. Like, yeah, just be kind. It's not easy. I know I'm saying it in such a, but
Kind is misunderstood because people think we mean nice. You don't have to be nice. Like, you actually don't have to be nice.
yeah, no.
But being kind is a virtue. So being kind would be to take the time and listen to your friend, or to, offer the suit, or to take the suit, or, whatever it was. But being nice is sometimes overriding even your own boundaries, and that will hurt you in the long run. So you're absolutely right. Kindness is the way to go.
Yeah.
Just be kind, damn it.
Also, don't be. This is weird, but don't be scared to be thirsty. Like, and by that I mean, like, reach out to people that you admire, cause you don't know how much they value you as well. Cause like I said, the first time Eb and I met was him like getting ready to beat me up. I would have never heard that story if I never, because I reached out to him and I said, dude, I love your stuff. You're amazing, blah, 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 blah. I hope we one day get to hang out. And then he was like, dude, I fuck with you too. Let's hang out. And the thing is, there's always that thing of like, nah, I gotta be cool. I gotta, these young bloods, I can't be hanging out. And then like, I'm also on my side, like, oh, these older comics that everyone admires, they're not gonna fuck with me. Why would they want to talk to the young kid on the block? Like, and because everyone is thinking like that, you don't know how many opportunities you're missing out on. You don't realize, like, the people that you admire see you. We see you, like, just try. The worst the case is they'll be like, I can't right now. That's the worst case. Or they'll just miss, and it's like, fine, it's cool. But at least you put it out there so that you'll never have I wonder if only because I don't have that. That's one thing I definitely don't have with this situation. I don't have I wish we could have. I'm sad that I'll never see him again, but I don't regret a single second I spent with him. And I wouldn't have gotten that if I was actually like, no, like these too cool, I gotta be too cool, swag, type shit.
Or if you got sucked into the rumor of you're the new Eb, and he got sucked into the rumor of this kid's the new Eb. Now you have beef. You don't even know who started the beef, which comedian came up with that.
Yeah. And
you never have the chance to connect with one another.
And he it actually was just miscommunication, because when the other guys, because Eb could confront people.
Okay,
it's like, why did you tell me this guy's stealing my material? And he's like, no, we didn't say he's stealing your material. We said he's stealing your shit. Like, he has your flows and stuff. Like, he's like, why don't you just say that? Because now imagine me and this kid are beefing because you're busy, don't know how to use words. And I was like, that's so real. That is so real. So
there are three of you in that category that I see. There may be more, but the and I'm not going to say who the other one is. You have a style. You think you can put your foot up on the microphone, on the, what's it called, the speaker, and you can just be like, ever think about that shit? And you can just give the thing time to breathe. And it's a really beautiful thing. It's a really, what it is? It's vulnerability. Like, you have big hearts.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Have big hearts, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I think we've done it.
I think we have.
Are you okay?
I will be.
But you will.
I
be.
will be.
Okay.
There's a line in this old sweatshirt song, but I'm just forgetting it now. I'm not good right now, but I'm gonna be alright. You know, like I'm gonna be alright.
What do you want to eat for supper or lunch?
Yeah, bro. Actually, no, let me not show the people because they were not sponsored by them. Yeah, I have my lunch literally like right behind me. I'm gonna have a have a little sushi.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
Mm.
That was a brother and a sister. I'm Khabani Muloy.
I'm Baba Lumuloy.
And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I put it to you, man, that if the world is going to change, then we have to be that particular change. And I'm not saying it in every fair way. I'm saying today, go and find out what you can give. Go and find out what you can do. And if anything, if it's just in your narrative, the way you speak and the way you treat people, let's go find out what we can be. My name is Ebenhaezer Dibakwane, and I thank you.